Hello, my name is Cody McCoy, and this is my introduction video for EDL850 Module 1. Currently, I teach at Washington High School in Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools. Our school demographics are about 80 of our students receive free or reduced lunch, 76% of our students are African American, and 17% of our students are Caucasian. The rest is primarily made up of Southeast Asian students with a large growing population of Western African students from Western Africa. As far as reflection about my administration and school district, at the district, we are not compliant with many IEP laws. Since I've worked in the district, we haven't fulfilled IEP minutes for several students, or even really came close. And it's not out of malice. It's simply out of the fact that we always have SPED openings within our district. We cannot seem to staff our SPED department properly. As far as Washington goes, Washington, I can say with fidelity, makes every effort to protect kids by following district policies as well as state and local laws. We do everything we can. Just a couple of points of emphasis this year is that we try to protect kids by making sure that students are always supervised by a certified teacher. And this is something that for some time some people were taking for granted, even if it was just a step out to make a copy. That's definitely not a practice that we really do anymore at Washington. And then this year we really focused on mandatory reporting and talked about the laws surrounding mandatory reporting and exactly how to do it. And we even designated people within the school as people you could talk to that would help guide you in the correct direction for mandatory reporting without necessarily having to divulge a bunch of the details to that person. As far as a personal reflection, my knowledge of state and local laws is fairly limited. Most of my knowledge is about IEPs, just because as a classroom teacher, that's what I deal with primarily the most legally. I was also a para for a year, so that year where I worked in special ed really helped me to get a grasp on some of the special education laws, and I got some really great experience from that. I am very well versed in USD 500 policies. One of our board policies is that we read a board policy once a month at professional development, and many times I am the person who goes over that board policy with the staff. I also sit in on a lot of our administration meetings and a lot of our leadership meetings, and there they talk about board policies quite a bit and what exactly goes on in our building and within the school. My plan of action is just to continue growing my knowledge. I'm very open-minded when it comes to learning new things, and I definitely don't have some preconceived notion that I know it all about educational law. I have a lot to learn, that's for sure. Some of that will be through personal research. I will continue to read and reflect on my practices in my classroom while we go through this class, and use that to connect to the course material. This class and then other classes throughout my Master's in Educational Leadership through Fort Hays will help prepare me and help teach me a little bit more about educational law. And then as I continue to observe Washington's administrators, I will, kind of pick things up as I go. And that will be a very crucial part of my plan just because of how much time I spend with our administrators. But most of all, just continuing to read and continuing to reflect and observe. So thank you very much, and I hope to have a wonderful semester with you all.